Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hi, I'm Dave Tuttle, author of Soul License Tips and Tales. Show you the book cover here. There it is. Today I'm going to talk about astrology. I mentioned it in the book, and it's really a good thing for you to know about. I was always enthralled by looking at newspaper horoscopes when I was a kid, and then as I became an adult, looked at it a little further, and you basically can learn a lot that'll help you in your life by looking at your astrology section now it's on the internet, but divided into 12 different things for your birthdays if you're not familiar with that. And hi, Wayne. And it's basically, you can use that. I use it daily. I use Cafe Astrology to get my daily horoscope. And I use Astrology Answers to get another general horoscope, and also a tarot reading, which is kind of a Hazari thing, which gives you a broad picture of what's going on. And when you do this, the reason I do that, get 3 different ones, is because they all tell a facet of what your day is going to look like, or your near future is going to look like. But they go at it from a little different angle, because there are many planets that influence your daily astrology and yearly astrology, etc. So it depends on what the writer is focusing on, that they give different perspectives, which for me, it's Cafe Astrology usually comes through more clearly for my sign, which is a Sagittarius, but your experience could be quite different from that, and using different astrological information. One thing I mentioned, you can get you can get a weekly reading, you can get a yearly reading. You can actually go to a professional astrologer and have them look at your birth date and time of birth and do your own astrology chart, which I would recommend everyone to do that. because it tells where the planets were at your birth and exactly how that affects you. That's, for instance, I got a Capricorn moon, which means that's my work. It's a good placement. It's my work ethic there. I'm Sagittarian sun sign, which is adventure and philosophy and traveling and publishing, et cetera, et cetera. And I've got a Scorpio rising, which is good in business, and it's Scorpios are you got to watch out for them a little bit, because if you cross one, they may come back and cross you later. But I tone that down with my Sagittarian, so I don't focus on that too much. But each sign has its good points and its bad points. And the bad point, when you on your sign, it gives you a general experience of what you should be doing if you were living the life you should live. And if you fall off of that, you pick up some of the negative aspects of your sign. So you want to, it's a very good to see exactly on your astrological chart where you fit and how that could impact your life later on, or in relationships and so on. Also, if you look at your sun signs alone, which is what the you normally get when you if you don't put in the other information, they'll give you a sun sign. Okay, Mia wants to look into astrology. It says, how do you gain more energy? Excuse me, more knowledge about it. Basically, you just Google astrology and you can get the 12 basic signs for the year, and also all the information on each sign. And there are larger astrology books which go into it more deeply. But that's your first click. I know my wife and I ran into one that's by I forget his name, but it was Bob something or other, and he had a very large book. And I don't even know if it's around on the internet anymore, but you could look through your entire life in this book if you did all the calculations and blah, blah, blah. So I also bought another book, which was pretty fascinating. I won't give you the name of it. You can probably Google it. But it's what they did, these two authors, they looked at the signs and they looked at different people and they compared the behaviors of all these people that were born on the same day. And then they pick up one day, you can look at it and see exactly what this person is. So, I looked at mine and it looked pretty on the mark right away for just looking up my birthday. And my wife's the same way. And I asked my neighbor what his birthday was, and looked it up. And he is new to the neighborhood. He just married a woman across the street. And I knew from general, what his personality would be like by him telling me when he was born. But I looked it up in this book, and it said very lively. And this guy is like he's shot out of a cannon every day. He never does anything slowly. You'd think he was crazy if you didn't know this little bit of information about him from astrology, that he'd be a little lively, because the guy is extremely lively. But just a funny thing there that you can run into. Numerology, Bruce is asking about. It's also an interesting thing about numbers that mean different things and so on and so forth. But you can Google that on the internet, and that's just dealing with numbers. Astrology is dealing with where the planets are in the sky when you were born, and that's how they determine your whole astrological makeup from that. The interesting thing about sun signs is if you just know the sun sign from someone without knowing the rest, you understand them enough if you've been looking at astrology, because they're fairly simple explanations they give for each sign. You can see a little bit about where they're coming from and understand them that way without judging them for being different than you are. And everybody's different, and it's all good. But it's very fascinating. Cassandra wants to know whether I think astrology is that really accurate. Yes, if you get your chart done, it's extremely accurate. Let's see. Okay, tarot reading. Yes, tarot reading is a good indicator. Also, it comes up what that is basically. A tarot reading is your spirit guides working with you when you go to a tarot reader, or you do it yourself, and that is just getting a message from the universe. With your spirit guides are the one that's driving that, because they know, your spirit guides know what your path is supposed to be for the planet, what you planned to accomplish during your time on Earth. And so that's how it's done. And you basically, what can you, okay, Camila asked, what can you say about being able to read someone using their date of birth and time of birth? I can say something by looking at their date of birth. The time of birth narrows it down and puts in all the other planets that are in the our solar system. And that's how you get the exact reading. And you can look at each planet, Mercury, and it's all good. But you learn a lot about yourself when you get these. If you get a chart and have it explained to you, or get that off the internet where they'll send an explanation with you, it will tell you how this will affect your life in different times, different places. If you want to get into that part, Wayne, first time. Thank you, Wayne. Yeah, it's amazing exactly how much it can, much information it can give you. Some planets that you would never imagine would have an effect. They all have an effect, and it just depends on where in your chart they occur. And you can understand yourself, not only looking at other people's charts or sun signs, but understand yourself more closely, so that you're trying to follow your correct, or understand why you're not maybe possibly as good in one area as another, or you have more strengths and you're working towards other strengths, and how you react with other people, and so on, and how they react with you. There are 12 zodiac signs, sun signs for each month, and each sign runs for about a month. And that's not only for you, but it's also for the whole planet, that these stars are affecting, in a general way, but your chart tells how it's affecting you. And I did subscribe to a book where the guy did yearly charts, and he also got into world situations and governments and what might be happening then with the planets being in a certain position and blah blah blah. But he has since stopped doing that, and so that's not something I read anymore. Okay. Vasila asks how to distinguish between everyday intuition and psychic insights. Intuition is basically tapping into your inner guidance. You're connected with Source through your soul, and when you have intuition, you're getting information from the other side. Your soul is here and there. It's not, they're not that far apart. Everything is very close. But when you're using your intuition, you're looking for your highest guidance, you might say. And psychic things is when you're actually you have the ability to hear or messages from your spirit guides, or you might see them and they'll be sending you signs and things like that, which you interpret in your own background and get the information. David asks ways to enhance self-awareness through astrology. That's if you get your chart completed, and you can do this over the internet, you will be better able to understand yourself. And if you you can also go to an astrologer and have them give you a report, but you can get them on the internet, or you can, if you have an astrologer in your area, you can have them interpret your chart for you. Okay. Mia asks, how does astrology influence our personalities? Well, astrology doesn't really influence your personalities. It just basically gives you an idea of what type of person you are and what you plan to be on your earth experience in creating and so on. On the other side, from what I've read, I haven't been there for a while, but you create your, with the guide of higher spirit beings, you create your own little life and what you're going to do here and the people you're going to run into, people that appear for a short time, for a long time. You have soul groups and that would more likely come through you into every lifetime during reincarnation, and you can choose whether you want to reincarnate or not. Or you can just stay on the other side and learn over there. If you choose to reincarnate, it's you get more development out of it because it's a much harder experience being in a dense plane like the Earth, rather than on the other side where everything is possible. So it's when you're creating that, sometimes the higher spirit guys have to tone you down a little bit so you don't quite go crazy when you come to Earth. But that's when some people that have problems when they come to Earth, that they may have overreached from what they originally had intended, thought they could do. Hope that answered that question. I got off the trail a little bit. But And astrology is basically, it's like a roadmap. You can look at it, and it doesn't tell you what you're going to do. It just gives you what the energies are out there and how they affect you personally and how they affect the world and so on, depending on what you're looking for. The 12 different signs you can look up, the Leo and Aquarius, all these. Each month has a different sign. I'm a Sagittarius. Virgo is September. October is Libra. November is Scorpio. January is Capricorn, and it's like the 21st of these signs start in the previous month, like the 21st of, maybe let's say the 21st of December to the 22nd of January would be one sign, Capricorn, and so on. Well, you have to, Zuri asks how she can use astrology as a guide, understanding and utilizing astrology for more personal growth and decision making. Well, if you look at it, you can tell what the positive aspects of it. You basically want to intuitively ask your higher self, what's the best thing, living with love, compassion, forgiveness, no judgment. Basically try and be the best person you can be, and you can treat everybody alike. Nobody's better than anybody else, regardless of anything, race, size, sex, doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Dree says she had a friend who read her natal chart and saw DE, which means okay. Yeah, I think that might have been an intuitive thing. She says that meant death or something, or emptiness, more like emptiness. Okay, if you have a void in your personality or some personal problem, they can help you pick it out. But I think that's more intuitive than using an actual natal chart for an astrology. I know I'm always discovering new things about myself on occasion, but because I never really looked at each thing, and I look at it and I read it, and some years back, and I said, oh, that's great, whatever. But to look at each planet and know exactly how it affects you, you either have to study it or see an astrologer to get it. Yeah, thank you, Frida. I think it would be well worth your while to look into astrology. It's a very it can be a very simple thing, and you can get a lot of worth out of it, or you can dig into it a lot deeper. I looked up a thing in that book I told you that I bought that compared a lot of different people's birthdays and everything. We had a rather strange crime in northern Idaho a year or two back, pretty horrendous. And I happened to look up this guy's birthday, And it's said that most of the people with that birthday, if they can live past the certain age, which is like 29 or something or whatever, that they can overcome these things that'll lead towards violence and whatever. That blew my mind when I saw that. But I'm not going to turn it over to the defense counsel. Oh, and of course, when you look up those other names in the book, none of those had committed any crimes. So I don't know how they came up with that thing. The book was written 10, 15 years ago. If you wonder what that is behind me, it's an antique pump organ. Nothing to do with astrology. Again, your signs run from like December to December 21 or 22 to January would be Capricorn. The next one would be Aquarius in February, and that runs into March, which would bring you. My mind is. Oh, how long did it take me? Okay. Well, this is for Mia. I basically went out and bought an astrology book early on. So I've been looking at this stuff for quite a number of times, quite a number of years rather. I bought it after my wife and I ran into somebody that discovered that when they asked our astrology signs, thought that we'd be an impossible match because I'm, get out of the house and go somewhere and all this other stuff. And my wife's a Cancer, and she's more of a stay-at-home family person. So I've had to take some of my trips alone, but that's all right. Oh, the turning light. Oh, okay. Jeffrey is going to my Reiki background. A turning point in getting interested in that was my wife and I had a energy reading, and it said we should do Tai Chi or Reiki. And my wife was more into that than I was, but she convinced me to go to the class for Reiki. And that's after I went through that class, I was sold on Reiki. And that's how it began. When you have energy coming out of the palms of your hands, and for me, I had it coming on my third eye and stuff like that. That's pretty powerful tool that I wanted to further examine. So that's getting down to a couple minutes. If you have any more questions, again, my book is Soul License Tips and Silence. Oh, yeah, Wayne, what can you say he says, what can you say to those who justify their problematic behaviors through astrology? I say that they're on the wrong side of their sign. It's not their, just they have to look at that and basically look at the enlightened light and good part of their sign, and not the, if they're stripping over the other edge, they can control that. And Cassandra says, I've ever felt afraid or hesitant through my journey in educating myself about such a broad subject. No, not at all. I find it all very fascinating, and it's been all very rewarding. Okay, I think we're out of time. So have a great day, and it's check this out, and you will see. Whoops, there it is. Sole license, tips and sales. You can read all about it. Thanks for attending. Bye.